In this episode, we explore the beautiful Hawaiian language with Kahanuola Solatorio, a Hawaiian language teacher. We'll discuss the best resources to learn more about the culture of Hawaii, common phrases and words to know for your next visit, and tips on learning the Hawaiian language. So stay tuned as we take a little journey into the beautiful language of Hawaii. Aloha and welcome to Hawaii's Best, the podcast helping travelers plan an unforgettable Hawaii vacation with insider tips and featuring local voices. I'm Brian Murphy, a husband, dad of 3, and certified Hawaii destination expert. Each week, I share local insights, travel tips, and up-to-date news, sometimes with guests across Hawaii and sometimes solo, all to help you plan your next trip to Hawaii. I'm a traveler just like you and have visited Hawaii many times. Now, over the years, it's been my passion to bring some of the stories of the islands to you to help educate all of us on how to travel to Hawaii more responsibly. And in today's episode, we're going to talk a little bit about how to do that, and it happens to be a replay of a previous episode, episode 63, which happens to be one of our most popular episodes with my friend Kahanuola Solatorio, our unofficial cultural practitioner. And Kahanui goes over 26 phrases and words to be familiar with before visiting. So I hope you enjoy this episode and my conversation with Kahanuola. Today we are joined again with our unofficial cultural practitioner, Kahanui. What's up, man?
Aloha.
Aloha.
Emphasis on unofficial.
Unofficial. Well, since we talked last, we did a podcast on May Day, and since then it's been a little while. And how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Finishing up my school year, so I have 2 more weeks of school. Everything's going good. Ready for summer, so yeah.
Any big plans?
Well, I'm going to be traveling. I'm actually going to be on the continent for the month of June, going to Vegas and visiting my sister in Phoenix and a couple of friends in Washington. So looking forward to that. And then maybe I'll make a detour and drive down
detour for this guy
to see you folks. Yeah.
Good, man. I hope we can meet up in June. We'll be back over to the islands hopefully in the next couple months. So we'll be sure to, we'll probably take all this part out, but people don't care.
Yeah. Leave it in.
We'll leave it in. Anyways. Today, we're talking about some words and phrases to know. Some of these you probably already know as you're listening to this. You probably heard some of these, and even one of the phrases we're going to be talking about. We did a whole podcast episode on the word aloha. The official language of Hawaii is the Hawaiian language, and it's really at the heart of the culture of Hawaii. So we wanted to get together again and do another podcast and talk about some of these phrases that you may have seen, you may have heard, and you might come in contact with as you visit the islands. So, Kahanui, we're going to we're both looking off the same list here. We're going to just take it from the top. And as you're listening to this, we're also going to link a blog post below where you can go ahead and grab all these words and phrases, print them out. Don't feel like you have to memorize all of them. We just want you to kind of be familiar with some of the phrases and words you may come in contact with, and some that you just should know as you're traveling to Hawaii. So, Kahanu, we're going to kick it off with number 1, aloha, which means...
Exactly. Aloha means aloha. But normally, I guess the simplest terms would be hello, goodbye, and also love. So, I mean, aloha is pretty well known throughout the entire world as at least hello. People can know aloha, you know.
Right.
Refer to our last one.
Yeah, we did a deep dive into that and having aloha be more of a way of life. So definitely want you to go back and check that episode out. All right, number 2, what do we got?
Another one that's pretty common or pretty well known throughout the world, and that is mahalo.
Mahalo.
Yeah. So mahalo, kind of on the other side, when you leave someone, you can say aloha, which also means goodbye. And you can say mahalo, which means thank you or I appreciate you. And 2, mahalo is bigger than just those 2 things. You know, mahalo is a whole lifestyle. It's being appreciative of someone else's time and their efforts and their work. So, yeah.
And these two words are probably the most frequent that people visiting would come in contact with.
Pretty much. Right when you get off the airplane, you're going to hear 30 alohas at the airport, or, you're going to see so many signs that say aloha and mahalo, thanks for coming. So 2 very important words. But again, packed with so much meaning, hard to water it down to, one specific definition. But if you were to, it would be aloha, hello, goodbye, love. Mahalo is thank you or appreciation.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Number 3.
This is maybe a new one to many of you, and that's going to be e ho'opirimai, malihini.
Malahini.
Yeah, so that's a common, I don't want to say mispronunciation, but yeah, a lot of people think there's an actual A after the L, but it's an I, so it's going to be malihini. Yeah, there you go. If you're not familiar with that word, it means like a tourist or a visitor. So everyone who comes to Hawaii for the first time or who travels here as a tourist would be considered a malihini.
I've also heard a malihini could also be someone who has lived on the islands for a short time, or is that?
Yeah, so you probably may know that many people choose to move to Hawaii to live after retiring or whatever. You would still be considered a malihini for, however many years it takes you to become accustomed to how we are, our way of life and all that kinds of stuff. And that brings up our next word, which is kama'aina. You want to try that with me? Kama'aina.
Kama'aina.
Yeah. So kama'aina is a native person, someone that's native to Hawaii, someone that knows the culture, knows the land, the people. So yeah, on the opposite spectrum of malihini, you have those 2 different words, kama'aina and malihini. So I would be considered a kama'aina.
Yeah, so kama'aina doesn't necessarily deal with culture, is that correct? It's basically, like you said, native born, so you're born in Hawaii.
Yeah. So there's actually a lot of, I don't know if you heard this term, kama'aina discounts. Mm-hmm. So if you're if you're a Hawaii resident, then you get a discount at a restaurant or whatever. So yeah, if you're born here and you have a Hawaii state ID, then you get that discount. Yeah. But it's actually, if you break it up, the 2 words in it is kama and aina. Aina we know as land, and kama means to bind. So it's pretty much saying that you're being bound to the land. Or even kama could also mean a child, so a child of the land. So many different ways to look at that one word.
So I know we're kind of maybe splitting hairs a little bit. So can a malihini become a kama'aina?
Yeah, definitely. And I know a lot of examples of people in my life who, they immerse themselves in the culture, they immerse themselves in this place. And I think one of the things people love about Hawaii definitely is the aloha spirit. And it's hard to embrace it if you weren't taught it or if you weren't born and raised here. I don't know. I'm not the person that decides if you become a malihini or, a kama'aina after you're a malihini. But yeah, I think it's pretty much up to you how you embrace the Hawaiian culture and the Hawaii-ness of being here. That's when you can become a kama'aina.
Gotcha.
It's up to you. Yeah.
That makes sense. Okay, number 5.
Yeah. So number 5 is kind of controversial.
Yeah.
It's a very interesting word, and it is going to be haole. Interesting enough is that people automatically assume haole means Caucasian or white, but haole in the dictionaries actually comes out to foreigner, someone that's, is not from here.
So the controversy around the word, maybe you can give us a little insight on that.
I guess over time, people just maybe automatically attach the word haole to white people or to Caucasian people. But I try and just think of it as just a general foreigner term. It's hard because we talked about it a little bit in our first podcast that we did about the troubling history of Hawaii with the foreigner, American businessmen coming to Hawaii, stealing whatever they stole. So that's why haole, that terminology, gets kind of misconstrued, and people are like, there is some kind of racist attitudes in it, with that word. You kind of have to go back and watch our first podcast to kind of understand it a little bit more if you don't yet.
Right. Really at the heart of that word is kind of what you already said, and sometimes words and phrases kind of take on a different connotation as time goes.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Number 6, we've already touched on it with ʻāina, but ʻāina.
So ʻāina is very important to the Hawaiian people, and ʻāina just simply means land. But like we kind of went over, land means so much to our people because that's where we get our, our food, our resources. If you're born here, you have a connection to the land that no one can ever take away because we are a part of the land. And this kind of takes me back to another story about our first kalo plant, which is a very, taro, which is the staple food of our people back in the day. And from what I learned, we all descended from that one taro plant as Hawaiian people. So we are definitely connected and bound to the land, no matter who you are. If you're born here and if you're Hawaiian especially, then you have that connection to the land that is pa'a, it's secure, it's always going to be there for you. So it's a cool way to think about it.
I just want to pop in here and say if you found any value in listening to Hawaii's Best is to simply follow the podcast on the app you're using right now. If you're on Apple Podcasts, just tap that little follow button in the top right corner. It's that easy, and doing so helps more people like you who love Hawaii find the show. And now back to the episode.
That's probably one of the most important takeaways traveling into Hawaii is the connection that Hawaiian people have to the land. And that's why you probably hear us say over and over again, different ways that if you are going to choose to visit Hawaii, how you can mālama on it, take care of the land and be a part of that because the land is so important and sacred.
Yeah, I think just a couple of things to remember is, when you go somewhere or when you go to the beach, make sure you take your rubbish with you, leave something better than when you got there.
Makes sense. You got number 7?
Yep. So number 7, you have vai. Vai means water. Try that with me, vai.
Vai?
Yeah. And then you see we use that V sound for that. Mm-hmm. But you can also use wai with the W. But mostly what I hear is vai. In Hawaii, we're surrounded by water. We're surrounded by ocean for miles and miles. So we're definitely water people. We have many chants and songs dedicated specifically to water, our source of water, where water comes from. And if you look at the Hawaiian word for valuable or for rich, it's going to be vai vai. So pretty much water is the word for valuable. So you see how much we prize or we hold water in and how much we respect it. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Number 8.
Number 8, very important because pretty much why many people come to Hawaii is our kahakai. You want to try that? Kahakai.
Kahakai.
Yeah. So kahakai means beach. If you break it down, kai actually just means like ocean or sea. Like we were talking earlier, when you go to the kahakai, definitely enjoy the experience, but leave the beach better than how you arrived. Yeah.
Yeah. So an example of that would be to obviously take out what you bring in.
Yeah.
And if you see something on the way out, take it out with you.
Yeah. And I guess while we're there, what is your favorite beach?
I can't tell you.
But is it a secret?
White Plains.
Cool. Yeah. So mine's is Waimanalo, right after Makapu'u, so on the eastern side. Yeah, it's the best. Oh, maybe that's the secret. Yeah. Yeah, our next word, we kind of touched on it when we talked about ʻāina, but mālama, you want to try that?
Mālama?
Yeah, so mālama is to take care. Just take care of not only your surroundings, but take care of yourself, take care of your family. That's why we always say mālama ʻāina. Mālama Kanaka, mālama your mama. That's another thing that I always say. Take care of your mother.
That going around during Mom's Day. Yeah.
Yeah. So many things that we can mālama and take care of.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, number 10, we have, this is one of my favorite
Our favorite,
words.
I was going to say, yeah.
Our favorite, yeah. And that's going to be ono.
Ono.
Yeah. So this one has an okina at the beginning of the word, and that's just like an accent. So when you say the word, you're gonna have kind of stress the o. So you're gonna go ono.
Ono.
Yeah. So ono means delicious, good. You know, when you eat something and you really like it, you can say, "Ooh, so ono." You know, if you're in Hawaii and you're at a restaurant and you go, "ono," they're gonna be like, "Oh, how you know that word?" You know, that kind of stuff. So yeah. Moving on to our next one, you have kapu.
Kapu.
Yeah. So kapu means sacred, or it literally is a Hawaiianized word version of taboo. So kapu means sacred. So if you ever see a sign out in nature or wherever you're going and that says kapu, just know that it means you cannot enter that space. And that could be for many reasons. One being it could be dangerous. Another meaning it could be sacred. You know, there could be bones, iwi kupuna there that you shouldn't be going around, or it's just kapu. It's just sacred. So those are some of the reasonings behind it.
Like I mentioned, we're going to have a blog that we're going to link to where you can get all these words. You can follow both of us on our Instagram accounts. We'll link that to the blog post. We'll add some more phrases and some other terms. We really want to dive deep into the ones that we just touched. And then right now we're going to do this like lightning round of some other common words or phrases that you might see and probably will see, especially when you first step off the plane. If you're coming to Hawaii for the very first time and you look towards the restroom after that, 6-hour flight, and you're going to see what is a kāne? What is that?
Yeah, what's a cane? Yeah. So that's exactly it. When you come to Hawaii and you see two signs, one saying cane and one saying wahine, just know that they're very important words.
Right.
Okay? So the first one, it would actually be pronounced kāne.
Kāne.
Yeah. So kāne means male or anything like a man. So if you are male, use that bathroom that says kāne. And then the other one is wahine.
Wahine.
Yeah. So wahine means female or woman.
Right. And then probably sandwiched in between, I'm just utilizing this bathroom illustration, kind of sandwiched in between, you probably will see ohana.
Yeah. So ohana means family. And we all watch Lilo and Stitch, hopefully. So we all should know what family means. Yeah. So ohana means family. And then there's a keiki probably on the sign, then that's going to be a child.
Also, you may hear the word Kanaka.
Yeah.
Which means?
Kanaka means like just a human or a person. Sometimes it can be translated to like mankind or like a man, but that's where it gets kind of blurred lines because Kanaka, I would just consider it as a human since kāne is a man. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. Yeah. All right. Moving on. Maybe you're going to be asking for directions. The word for towards the sea would be...
So it's funny in Hawaii, like when you ask for directions, it's a little bit different. It's not like turn left on blah, 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 turn right on that. We use these two very general terms. And the first one is makai.
Makai.
Which means towards the sea or seaward. So if you wanted to say like, where is a beach? You can say, oh, just go makai go seaward from this location, And then the other one would be mauka.
Mauka.
Yeah. So mauka means towards like mountainward or towards the mountain. So those are pretty much our two senses of direction. We don't have north, south, east, west. We have mountain or makai and mauka.
Yeah.
And we just get it,
easy.
We just
That's
get it. Yeah.
You figure it out.
Yeah. Next we have kokua. Try that with me. Kokua.
Kokua.
Okay. So kokua means to help. And kokua, just help whoever you can. Help the old lady who is carrying her groceries, or help, a friend that has to move, that's kokua is a word that everyone can use. You don't have to only be in Hawaii. You can also always kokua anyone, wherever you go. And
then a word that we unpacked a few weeks ago from the time of this recording.
May Day, Lay Day is, our next word is lay.
Yeah.
And lay, again, it's hard to translate lay, because lei can be all sorts of things. But if you break it down, it pretty much just means garland. Something you wear on your body or around your neck would be considered a lei. I would highly recommend tuning into that podcast a couple weeks ago because, kind of just unpacks what lei are, or the importance of lei. Yeah. So our next word is hale, and hale means house. So kind of important because, another word that you can use wherever you're from, not only when you come to Hawaii. You can mālama your hale, take care of your house, or, that kind of thing.
Right.
We can go into another one, and that's going to be hokele. You want to try that?
Hokele.
So hokele means hotel. and it's kind of another Hawaiianized word version of hotel, hokele. So, yeah. So many people are going to be staying at a hokele, or if you're at an Airbnb, then a hale.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. Most of your hotels or your houses come with this. And, I hear this on some shows, and another word that kind of is popular, maybe.
Adopted.
Yeah, adopted. Yeah. And that's lanai.
Lanai.
So lanai is your patio or like a balcony. So, many hotels, people like to just sit on the lanai, look at the ocean, just enjoy the Hawaiian breeze. So, yeah, lanai.
All right. So right here, we're going to do a little pivot. Kahanu doesn't know this is coming.
Oh, I'm scared.
But I think it would be important to do justice to the islands and how to pronounce each island correctly.
Got it.
Because when you look at the spelling lanai, and then you see the island that's spelled the same way, but pronounced differently. Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe starting with Big Island.
Yeah. Big Island has also always been known to me when I was growing up as Big Island, just because, it's the biggest out of the 8 islands. But the real name or the main name of that island is Hawaii. So Hawaii Island.
Hawaii.
Yeah. And you can, people say it like with a V, Hawaii, or people even say Hawaii. Either or works. And even my mom, she goes Hawaii. So there's many different pronunciations, and I'm not saying which one is right or wrong, but the way I would say it is Hawaii.
Hawaii.
Yeah, good job. Okay, moving to the next island would be Maui.
Maui.
And this is a weird one because people go Maui or, Maui, Wowie. So kind of more biting down on the vowels, Maui.
Maui. Okay.
Yeah, good. The longest one is probably the hardest one to pronounce is Kaho'olave. Kaho'olave.
Kaho'olave.
Yeah, and I hear so many weird pronunciations of this. Kahulave, yeah. Ku'ulavi, So Kaho'olave. And this is one of the islands that you cannot go to unless you're doing like a cleanup kind of thing with them. So
yeah, it was probably a year or two ago now. There was a pretty big fire on the island.
Yeah.
And I know there's been efforts in a restoration project too there.
Yeah. So for years and years, they've been working on restoring Kaho'olave to its original, way. But, it was bombed earlier by America, just as it was used as bombing practice or targets. So, yeah, that's why it's one of the things you got to watch where you're going, because there's still live bombs that are in the ground. So, yeah. It's crazy. I haven't been there, but hopefully one day I can go.
Yeah. Okay. When you land on Maui, you're driving from the airport. You got West Maui Mountains on one side, Haleakala on the other. And so you're driving, you're like, oh, this is why it's called the Valley Isle.
Yeah.
And you're seeing these 3 other islands too. Yeah. So this is one of them. And then there's the other 2 are.
Yeah. So the one we were talking about earlier, Lanai. Yeah. So Lanai actually has a kahako or over the first A, which is it's just a line over the vowels, and that just tells you to draw out the vowel sound. So Lanai. Yeah. So different from Lanai, yeah, but Lanai. Yeah. And then the other one would be Molokai. And this is kind of tricky because even the natives of Molokai have different ways of pronouncing it. Some say Molokai without the okina. Some just say Molokai. I don't know. I've always known it as Molokai, so that's what I call it as. And that's my actual favorite island.
Yeah.
Out of the 8. Yeah, because my dad was born there.
Oh, okay.
I have family there. I have ties there. It's called the Friendly Isle for a reason, because the people are just so nice, so family oriented, so they become your friends quickly. So yeah, love that island.
That's awesome.
Moving on to the island that I'm on right now, Oahu. Yeah, and this one's interesting too. A lot of people pronounce it with a W. They go Oahu, but just know that there's an okina between the O and the A. So that shows it's a Oahu, Oahu. So just make sure you pronounce that okina A very strongly, Oahu. The last 2 is Kauai. Kauai. Yeah, and some people call it Kauai, even some of the natives. So it depends. I call it Kauai. And then the last one is Ni'ihau.
Yeah.
So Niihau is the other island that you cannot just go and visit. It's a kapu. It's a sacred island.
Mhm.
So yeah, so those are the 8 islands. And I think one of the things to keep in mind too, when you're saying Hawaiian words, is just know where the okinas are
Mhm.
and the kahakos, all those diacriticals, because it helps you to, get the word correct. If you keep that in mind, then you'll know what you're saying or how to say it a little bit better.
Gotcha. All right. Any island you visit, you want to be mindful of picking this up, and that is
Yeah. So opala.
opala.
Yeah. Opala means trash. So every time you leave some place, or make sure you pick up your opala. And Hawaii has been very good in the past couple years about, making laws banning plastic bags, styrofoam, all that stuff. So we're very conscious of our impact on the earth. So yeah.
Probably anyone who wants to visit Hawaii is hoping to see one of these, and that's what?
A honu. So a honu is a turtle, a Hawaiian green sea turtle. So yeah, if you're lucky, you can come across a beautiful honu either at the beach, nesting, or in the water. And I was lucky enough to see many honu throughout my life. But don't touch them.
Yeah.
Just don't go near them. That's the thing.
Right.
They're kapu. They're sacred. Just don't mess with them. You can admire them from afar.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. Please don't be that person. That person that one story on Instagram,
Yeah, I saw.
goes viral in not a
Yeah.
good way, and it's not.
You can get fined, so
Yeah.
just mind your space. 6 feet. No, actually more than 6 feet.
No, it's more than
60
that.
feet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's coronavirus, bro.
Yeah. Oh yeah, sorry. I forgot.
Okay, so this is probably my favorite.
Yeah, pauhana.
Pauhana.
Yeah, so pau actually means like done or finished, and hana means work. When you're done with work and you just want to go home and relax and spend time with your family, open up a cold one. We call that pauhana.
What's that mean?
Like a juice or water, that kind of stuff. Yeah. So pauhana, yeah, I gotta wait a little bit. So
It's 5:00 somewhere, right?
yeah, exactly. I like the words. It was really very random. So
Super random, but these are, I think, a lot of terms that you'll come in contact with as you're in Hawaii, or even as you're dreaming and maybe researching about Hawaii. You'll probably come across a lot of these words, and having just an understanding of these words and phrases is so culturally important to where you're traveling. And you're going to have a great time, and you're going to do all the things that you're going to do in a responsible way. But everything that we do at Hawaii's Best, we want to make sure that we draw back to the Hawaiian culture the best as we can. So
thank you so much. Yeah, it's very important. And, sometimes overlooked part of traveling, but try your best to immerse yourself in the language, the culture, everything. So, yeah. Good intentions, maybe. Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah, absolutely.
We actually have a very convenient website, and that is going to be wehewehe.com. So wehewe.com, and that's our Hawaiian language dictionary. So everything from our book dictionary is online as well. So if you ever want to look up a word, or you come across a word that you think is very beautiful, just go to wehewehe.com and you can look them up right there.
And maybe just kind of on that same topic, if there's anybody who is interested in maybe taking steps further towards learning about Hawaiian language, what would you recommend?
So there's many resources for you to use. One thing that I really enjoy are the apps. Duolingo, there's a Hawaiian language version of Duolingo, and also Drops, which helps you with your vocabulary, Hawaiian vocabulary. So that's a good one. Also, you can follow my channel, Eho Pirimai. We do daily Hawaiian language lessons, and we have a online Google Classroom resource that you can tap into. So many resources that are convenient and accessible online. So
yeah, absolutely. From following your page and utilizing personally, Duolingo has been good for me. It's not sponsored by the podcast or anything like that, so that's just what I personally use. But there's a lot of great resources out there, so be sure to check that out, and we'll link all that and all that good stuff. So Kahanui, our unofficial cultural practitioner, thank you so much again.
No worries. Thank you
for your time, and looking forward to hanging out again. And thank you so much for listening to this podcast. And if you found it valuable, go ahead and leave a rating review below. That helps out both myself and Kahanui and being able to spread this message. So thank you so much. And until next time, be well. Aloha.
Mahalo for listening to this episode of Hawaii's Best. To stay up to date on future episodes, hit follow on your podcast app. Hawaii's Best is a production of Shorebreak Media Group with editing by Easy Podcast Solutions and music courtesy of our friends Stick Figure.